Ladies, I am here tonight on the show. And tonight I'm gonna talk about a few things. First I'm gonna talk about Devil Sewnney, the coach of Clemson, and how he lost to Duke this week. And look, I think what's going on with him is and a lot of people are saying this, and I think it's true. This is what people are saying the last few days. Ever since he lost on Monday to Duke, he's not doing a good job of adapting to the new college football, which is the transfer portal and the NIL, which you pay players. He doesn't want to do any of that, and that's why I think he's losing. You see Colorado with Deion Sanders, how fast they rebuild that program, how fast, how was it, like 75% of the team was on the transfer portal. And this guy doesn't want to do anything like that. He wants to do things old school. He wants to recruit and develop his own players, which is fine. But when everybody else is, I need another freaking defensive lineman, instead of recruiting an 18, 19-year-old freshman, I'm gonna I'm gonna freaking go get this defensive line from freaking Virginia Tech. I'm gonna give him a better NIL deal so he comes here to Clemson, or I'm gonna go get this wide receiver from Iowa. I'm gonna give him a better NIL deal than what Iowa's giving him, and I'm gonna bring him in here. And so he doesn't want to do any of that stuff. So he things the old school way, no NIL deals. Wants to just get a bunch of like back in the day where you were just. And I get it, but at the same time, he's one of the few who has not embraced the new college football, which is a transfer portal and the NIL deals. He doesn't want to pay players. That's what happened a few years ago to coach Mike Krzyzewski in Duke basketball. He didn't want to adapt to the new rules. He didn't want to do one and dones with freshmen, and that's why for a while there, Derrick Rose going to John Calipari, John Wall going to John Calipari, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Carl Towns, Devin Booker. All these players chose John Calipari over Mike Krzyzewski because Mike Krzyzewski was all about building your team and having the players stay there like 3 years. Like John Hire and Tyler Hinesborough with the North Carolina Tar Heels. He didn't want this whole freaking one and done situation. But once he adapted to it, he started getting players again. Obviously Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Jabari Parker. He finally adapted to it again and started getting players again. But for a while there, he didn't want to adapt to it, and he didn't get any fucking players, man. And all the players went to Kentucky and to these other schools, and that's why for a few years there Duke was down because he didn't want to adapt to the new rules of the one and done. Same thing right now. Devil Sewnney's going through that, man. He doesn't want to adapt to the NIL deals, paying players, the transfer portal, and he might stop winning because of that, man. Either you adapt or you perish in life, ladies and gentlemen. And I ain't talking books. Allow me to educate you, and I ain't talking books. The other thing I want to talk about, another thing with college football, man. These fucking quarterbacks, man. Jesus Christ, there's so many quarterbacks, man. The quarterback from Duke was his name Riley. The one from Notre Dame, Sam Harwell. Obviously Colorado with Shadir Sanders. Obviously you got Caleb Williams, and USC. The guy from Florida State didn't look back on Sunday when they beat LSU. The guy from LSU doesn't look bad either. What's that other quarterback? Obviously, the one from North Carolina, Drake May. There are so many good quarterbacks, man. There are so many good quarterbacks. It is unbelievable, man. Let's see how many of these pay out. But there's a lot of talent, man. Everybody thought it was just Quentin Ayers from Texas. Everybody just thought it was going to be like Drake May from North Carolina and Caleb Williams from USC. But all of a sudden, the Duke quarterback looks pretty good. The Notre Dame quarterback looks pretty good. The Colorado quarterback looks pretty good. The Florida State quarterback looks pretty good. All of a sudden, man, all of these damn quarterbacks look pretty damn good, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see what happens. Let's see how many of these quarterbacks actually prove to be good in the NFL, man. But man, if you're like a team, even like the Texans or the Colts, I mean, you drafted a quarterback this year and you're not sure, don't be surprised if they go back and do it again next year, man. Do not be surprised if Indianapolis is not sure about Anthony Richardson or Houston is not sure about CJ Stroud, they go back at it next year, man. I would not be surprised at all because of how loaded this class is. And CJ Stroud, man, it's a lot of, you hear a lot of 50-50. Some people think he's going to be good. Some people think he's going to be bad. And same thing with Anthony Richardson. A lot of people say he's like he's like a project, not even a prospect, more like a project. Now, last time they said about something about a quarterback like that was what's his name? Lamar Jackson, and he turned out to be pretty damn good. So let's see what happens with Anthony Richardson, and let's see what happens with CJ Stroud. But yeah, man, a lot of quarterbacks, man, a lot of options here for next year's draft, possibly. All these young quarterbacks in college right now, man. Last thing I want to talk about is tomorrow's the first game of the NFL season, man. We got the Chiefs versus the Lions. Chiefs are missing Chris Jones on defense. On offense, they might miss their tight end Travis Kelce. So we don't know, man. We don't know, man. I'm still going to go with the Chiefs game. I'm still going to take the Chiefs, but they have some questions, man. They're possibly missing their best player on defense. Chris Jones, their best player on defense, and probably their second best player on offense in Travis Kelce, man. Lions can score, man. They can flat out score. So we'll see what happens, man, because the Lions can flat out score. The problem is their defense, man. But if Chiefs are missing Chris Jones and they struggle putting pressure on Jared Goff, we might have a fucking shootout, man. Maybe like 35-31. But I think Kansas City can still figure out how to win this game. Give me Kansas City to win this game, even though they're going to be missing possibly Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. I'm still going to take Kansas City to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. I'll come back on Friday and do the rest of my picks. But for now, I think that's all I have to say. Until next time, I am out. I'm finished. Have a good night, everybody. The frick is happening?